There she goes. Ugh. A lot of weird news coming out today. Holy moly. Holy smokes. What's up, dudes? How we doing? Get ready to kick off a little stream. Get ready for a feuds. Talk about last week a little bit. What's up, Brian? Steve? Mr. Sal. What's going on, Terry? Not too much here. Man. Oh. Bonfire going? Hell yeah, Steve. That's what I'm talking about. It was a nice day finally here, too. Warm and sunny. Cool. You got all these on here, too? Well, a few more people get piled in. All I want to do is pop back to kind of last week's fibs, start over, give myself a little recap. This is what I start with every Sunday, even if I'm not on live. I just do a little recap for myself here. So obviously, just starting on the weekly, right? And this is last week and 2 weeks prior, coming through that 10 SMA of that weekly and 428. Kind of an interesting one because we're going to fib out this weekly here, like always. And I'm reviewing last week's from 2 weeks ago. Not quite this week. We'll start on that closer to Futures Open. But I just want to go over a few things on how I like to go back test and go through, right? So we had a real kind of like nothing burger week. We're consolidating between the 10 SMA and 100 EMA, like we discussed. So, wait, is that weekly marked correctly here? Yep. Always got to make sure. Yeah, because we started right here, right? 28. Interesting. Yeah, it wasn't until just really that 4:30, that news day, that it really kicked up all crazy. So we only get 5 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then obviously weekend over. And this is last week. So just highlighting some candles here. And what I'm doing is I'm fibbing out the weekly, and I come back in, and then I start just registering the daily and start utilizing whatever we've seen, for the daily here. And I like to give myself a little recap on what I've seen throughout the week. And in this instance, let's delete this. Get a little feed. There we go. We always have our teal weeklies for Fibbies, and then white for the daily, or gold day of, depending on what we're doing. And what I want to see here is kind of how the dailies reacted inside the weeklies. And you can catch those on the daily fibs. So this is last week's, action, or I guess 2 weeks ago. And we have only one no tag GP open. And of course, doesn't look like we hit that 50 either. So that weekly should be open. Yeah, we shied that. So 5590.25, week of 428. 50 is not tagged, so I have to understand that one. That was the shy on 5.7. I remember that. And then, of course, big psychological level is 5,600, and we did catch 5,600 on 5.7 and not the 50 weekly. Interesting. So I'm going to make this a little more transparent so I can see through it there a little better. I'm going to take this daily right here, obviously the highest range that we got. And talk about a couple things here as I go through it. And you just kind of set these up. So when I see the weekly high-low, and I don't see any crazy unique candles in here as far as the daily is concerned, we have one good doji that started the week on 428. So we do mark up dojis a lot. Not really on screen too much, but there's lots of the old lessons. A lot of the old members know that we always like to find out where pinpoint doji bodies are, the real good ones. And with that being said, you can easily see the start of the week, that Monday doji, anything that opened and held, even the crazy tail of 430 here, closed above that doji. So promoting a lot more uptrend. And of course, this week we hit that 1618, but we already had the 100. So what I'm doing is I'm using the same Fibonacci that we use for intraday scalping, but I'm doing it on the weekly and the daily prior to the open. So when I come in, I do the weekly, I look for a couple unique 430 daily candles here, and I notice my Fibonacci rules. And the rules for me is if I draw a Fibonacci high-low, and in this example, I use the daily that goes from that 56.27 to 54.55, and notice the rule is once we break over the 100 fib, we are generally looking for the 1618. Well, we got that interesting breakthrough here, right? Held that awkward doji, came up, hit that 100 EMA, did not hit the 1618. So we did maintain above the 100. We did finally hit it last week, not the week prior. And then it came back down to hit that 100, and that became a huge over-under. So when something breaks out of a daily, like we had here, then into last week, came down and defended that 100, and then we finally hit the 1618. Generally speaking, after the 1618's hit, because we did shy it back here, the magnet works both ways. So if you initially drew it right here, right, on 430, it goes up, attempts the 1618. Did it hit it? Nope, absolutely not. Shied it. Came all the way back down to its over-under level, which is the 100 fib, 52.2689. And once that came in for a hit, popped up, hit the 1618, right? So we know those two magnets happen more often than not. Every setup, doesn't matter which way it goes, does not matter, because once the fib is drawn, if it doesn't hit the 1618, all it has to do is maintain above the 100 in order to have a good chance to come back to it. Let's say it did come up and hit the 1618, then we have a higher percent chance just to come straight to the 100. So, and then the GP, of course, after that, because this one is still open. So walk you through the rules right now, step by step, because we did promise we'd go over a couple different Fibonacci rules. So instance 1, and this works on every time frame for me, okay? So kind of kick off the video about 6-7 minutes in here. Looks like we got enough people in here. Happy Sunday. Yeah, that's the one I just posted in Discord too. It's a couple of pretty big tweets, but he has I want you guys to pay attention. Sorry, before we start here, just to the news piece, and I don't know if I'm gonna have it up here. Joint statement, and it's gonna be Monday. It's a whole bunch of these, but yeah, when the news popped up here, they're talking about China and America reaching a lot more constructive talks, and then having an announcement. And he put on Truth Social here, next Truth will be one of the most important ever. So he's going to post something on Truth Mobile as well come Monday. So I do want you guys to be extremely careful, where I'm hoping it just happens pre-market or something like that. Trumpster gets us out of the way and doesn't come for us here intraday with some of those absolute wonky candles we hate to see sometimes when he's out tweeting and announcing crazy things. But tomorrow, okay, that's up there, so be cautious. So Fibonacci real estate, right? So we're going to come in here, watch some Fibonacci, and do some examples. We'll start off right here on the daily. So the rules are rules, okay? Always follow the rules. Number one scenario, okay? If we draw a Fibonacci box, boom, boom, and we look to that upside, we look for one thing to happen right when we draw the box, okay? No matter what. Are we going to deal with an extension or are we going to deal with a retracement? That is found off the 100 fib, obviously top of the candle. So when we drew this box right here, only two scenarios exist to us. We find support and momentum above the 100 to reach the 1618 or below to reach the golden pocket, right? But there's a couple things after one of those things hit, you guys need to prioritize. And we say this live a lot, or we talk about it, or at least play it a lot, but I think we need a little walkthrough. So scenario one, we got it high low drawn. Let's say in scenario one, we have extension, okay? Which means we're not going for retracement into the golden pocket. We're going for extension outside of the box. So with our box drawn, we are heading towards extension. And hypothetical in this scenario, let's say it hit the 1618 on the first breakout and never came back to the golden pocket. So for our example, we'd have it here. It would push into the 1618, tagged. Okay, perfect. Then what? Well, after an extension is rule number one, most in regular trading, we're not talking about a huge news piece, CPI, breakthrough, outside source of absolutely crazy volatility, none of that stuff. Just regular technical analysis on a regular day where nothing else is influencing the hype, fear, and greed of the market. When it pushes up and hits that 1618, the number one thing you should be looking for is back to the 100, okay? More often than not, the first candle break out to extension hit ends at the 100. That's number one, rule number one. That's the first thing you should always look for. It's the most probable trend, okay? And in the scenario that we just talked about here, we have the shy version of that trend, and that's the one that's on the screen right now. So same exact thing. If we were to draw this box, it maintains above the 100, pushes towards the 1618, does not hit it, like the first example, comes down to the 100, then hits it. That's usually scenario number two, resulting in using the 100 fib as an over-under, regardless of if we tag the 1618 or not. So again, draw the box, leads up. If it hits right to the 100, more often than not. If it comes up and shies it, more often than not, we have to hit the 100, then hit the 1618. The only difference between scenario one and number two is with the shy and it hits the 100 and then the 1618 is if it hit the 1618 first. So the first scenario drawn, we did actually tag it here, comes back down to the 100. More often than not, the short from the 1618 to the 100 is the best trade. But because the shy compared to no shy happens, if there is no shy, and again, let's pretend that 5-2 has hit, it drags it to the GP as well. So that's the only difference between a shy and a no shy. So when you have a scenario like this, big candle comes up, hits, you are more likely to go boom, 100, boom, GP. Okay. And then in scenario number two, when you are coming up to the 1618, shy it, does not hit the algos, comes down, boom, 100. You have a way higher percentile chance because you shied the 1618 to come back to the 1618. Okay. Those two are kind of important. And I didn't realize how many times that we've played this and a million times over the last, 5-6 years doing it on stream, that we may have not even covered some of the basic rules of it. So that's why we're going to do that today. And now if we get parabolics, right? And I'm sure there's a bunch of examples that we could go find here real quick because I really want to go through a couple of these. And especially when we have no GPs down here, it should be pretty easy. Now, this is a very similar scenario to, there we go, following suit from O to Big Fib. So we're talking about the Trump pump candle. This obviously was designated from the Liberty Day, came down, Trump tweeted, blah, 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 push the huge candle up. And we use that higher low in retracement of the 50 for this candle to find this higher low. And what we're looking at is going to be 422's high low. And I just want to go over a scenario real quick regarding pretty much what we just did. But this scenario has a runaway to it. And we got to talk about the psychology between the two because this is not regular trading as we discussed. So when we're talking regular trading, right, it's just standard in between stuff like this where it's on a good trend, it's back off the 10, it doesn't need any extreme confirmations. The extreme confirmation in this case is coming from a giant candle. That's extreme confirmations. When you have a candle, biggest one ever, right, on the kickback to here, and then it travels back to a 50 fib of that candle to continue, there's a higher percentile chance we're going to get blown straight out of the water. Let's delete this. We get confused here because of this candle on 4-9. So what we're saying is if you get an obnoxious world record setting candle like this, and then it produces a higher low or base, right, in the golden pocket of that, and then starts ripping and running, please don't look for a standard Fibonacci scenario when you know dang well that we are dealing with a obnoxious scenario here that has nothing to do with average, okay? So that's one of the things coming into each and every setup you need to understand where the psychology is, right? Because we're working with number one of all time candles here of a confirmation on the 50 fib of that candle. So when we fib that baby out and we interact with that 50 hold, that's going to be a gnarly one. That gnarly one consists of this guy right here, 422. And now notice the Fibonacci rules, right? Starts with a gap immediately. This one's still open on the futures even. So I don't think this was a contract change one. I'm almost positive it wasn't, but 20 something. We'll have to check. Sometimes contract ones don't fill in the gap, but I'm not too worried about that. So when we come into the fib lesson, so back to business here, we draw the fibs to the upside and two things generally happen, right? We look for magnets. And now this one's kind of a fun one too because of the shies, right? So we have this guy drawn, we have a gap, and we have the 1618 of the candle tagged right away, gapped into. We didn't even break through the 100 in this scenario. We left a gap. So we obviously opened up, way above. So here's the open, push, and we hit that 1618 immediately. Now let's take a peek at what happens here and why continuation was higher probable than not. And it's obviously the shine, the pullback, right? So this candle's box that we drew to the upside, gap up, hit, pulls back next day, no fill to the 100, right? 5339.86 is zero fills. So when it did pull back to the 1618, statistically, coming to the 100 fib is more likely than not. So, which means if it really didn't come back there on a higher likely scenario, which means we are really going to go to the opposite end of that scenario, right to the 2618, as long as it maintains above, right? No contract change. Thanks, Rob. March, June. Okay, I wasn't sure what the dates of that. I never paid attention to that. So the confirmation of that 1618 to 2618 was your biggest deal, okay? So we draw these sentiment candles a lot of time on chart. And notice right here, that candle right here, boom, boom, shot up to the 1618, pull back, no fill, okay? So we pressed into the gap. And that's one of our elite systems we've been running for a decade plus, where if you see a gap on the chart, again, first time price action enters that gap, because the gap was from 422 to 423. 424 entered the gap, as you see here, did not fill because the first time action comes back into a first fresh gap. Generally, it just keeps going the other way. That's just more often than not. Have we seen them fill right away? Of course. And the market can do anything it wants to do. But statistically, more often than not, you will get a bounce into the gap, first time tag action, and usually go back the other way. All time frames, okay? So in this scenario, again, with that big gap and that big shy from 424, all we needed it to do is get over and hold over the 1618, and we knew the magnet was going to come to the 2618. And that it did. So when we came from 424, 425, 420, well, then we moved to the weekend there. We had all of these candles push, 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 and finally hit the 2618. And then our no GP candle that we were just talking about early part of the video here, 430, right? Because that was the one I fibbed out first and talked about the regular pullback. This was the 1618. Notice that that was the one that opened and almost got knocked all the way back to the 1618, shied it again, which resulted in 424's 50 fib being shy. If you don't see that, 424 also has a 50 where that 1618 was. But again, it got bought up right ahead of time. So that told you that 2618 reaction was very warranted because gap over the 1618, rush, 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 finally hits the 2618 and then knee-jerk reaction for that first tag. So very cool to see that. Now, this also means, let's back up here a little bit, that because we're on this ferocious trend of this daily candle, that higher low, the Super Trump candle 4.9, right, and gave us a no-tag gap, and we will eventually come back down and fill this. There's no chance it won't. And when we do see the resistance, generally on this strong of an uptick, right, where there is gaps like this, we couldn't even pull back on the 1618. Geez, we broke out over 424 here, hit the 2618 and still couldn't come back down to the 1618 to confirm strength. That is an extremely bought market, right? That is going straight up. Now, where we're left with from this candle down here, that's where it gets a little interesting for our open, pending how everything goes, right? You see the tweets, you see the China stuff. Are we going to open in a gap up? Is it going to be super bullish? Well, we're going to have to see, because that 3618 should be one of your biggest targets. That's one of the new hotness for us on the Fibonacci scale here, where if we're walking through, I mean, we are walking through these. Notice that break of that 1618, slam through, hit the 2618, big reaction, couldn't come back. and then held 2618 as if it was a basic level. Look at the opens here, or the candles here. Close, open, close, open. Notice how those opens and closes are all dead stuck right around that 56, 11, 12, right? 10 points above a half whole dollar. Pretty strong. And then it held that 2618. We bumped our head on the 100 EMA, 100 EMA, 100 EMA, 100 EMA. So that should tell you that we are still in a very strong uptick, right? Big old momentum mover. But what are we going to do with that? Well, we have a magnet. We got one left. And I'm sure everybody knows this one. If we're over the 100 EMA daily in this scenario, over the 100 EMA, we're going to be cooking up to the 3618 5779 125, and that's going to be our reactive move. So let's say we do gap and push into this. The reactive move is going to look, hopefully, you know, not this large, hopefully a pullback, you know, like a scalp back down to some of those highs, right? Maybe fill the gap if there is a gap up, just because it's just, you know, news flash, and that's just Trump tweets. And well, we know how Trump likes to over exaggerate, so how these tweets are going to play out in the market, it'll be interesting. So we go to the intraday here, and then we see, okay, that 3618, it's quite far away. And this is that 1618 tag. And then Friday was a nothing burger, except for that one, again, Trump tweet. And that kind of leads us into our setup for the day for this Fibonacci as well. So if we are open and above, and let's say it gaps up really heavy, we get some crazy news tweet up here. Let's say it's up here. Let's say we just capsized and broke over that 5,700 that we were struggling with back here on Thursday, and then came back under and closed under for Friday because it was kind of a nothing burger Friday. And we push way over that 5740. We even opened 5750. Well, the first thing you're going to look for is going to be over that Thursday high, over 5740, 5750. That little 10-point range right there, that's going to be one thing you want to look at to magnet right up to the 3618. So a lot of the times I like to come in here and get half whole dollars, and just a scenario for the open, and because we're so close to the magnets, right? And we'll start overlapping other Fibonacci's here, but if this does open up around that 5740, 50, and we use that as support, we do have about 20, 30 points to that upside to the 3618, and that'll be a magnet because a lot of things are no longer here stopping us, right? We would not be below the 100 EMA struggling like we have seen it day after day after day after day. We'd be way up here, clearing shut for the 200 tag. Right, so we would have that reach as well. And if you don't notice that overlap there is a peach 200 SMA daily line right here, peach dash line. That lines up almost to the penny within 10 cents, 1 point of the 3618 on the daily. So if all this news pump gives us that upside move, we will be looking for the futures open and singing rate 25779. 0.25. And last but not least, if you don't see that little piece over to the left right there, I'll put it out here for you guys too. There is no 50 tag right here. Okay, that's just below 5,800. So this candle right here, 326, also has no 50 tag. So that is still in need of a tag. So we could, not even could, should fib that out as a no tag 50 daily as we set this up. Perfecto. So let's see if that news does. And now for the low side, we'll talk about a couple overlaps, and then we'll go to there. Scenarios keep playing out. So we only have two other unique candles, or one other unique, two total. So the one we just did was 422. The first one we were talking about was 430. We're going to pop that guy back on there right here. Because why? Well, these are the ones with no GPs, right? We're going to overlap some of these and see where those actions are as well. So the two candles we have fibs on right here, 422 to the upside, 430 to the upside. Those are the two interesting candles left open for the last couple week sessions since that big old Trump candles 50 fib support. So that next daily, that's where we hit that 1618. Now here's where the other scenario kind of applies, because the rules state the scenario goes 1618 once the 1618 hits. If it does not progress over the 1618 and give us that push. So again, if we open high, let's give it the old 1618 up, so like that. And then the low side of things, let's say news doesn't matter, everybody's bearish, sell the event, whatever you want to say. We end up under some of these things right here, right? I would have to say under probably yesterday's close. Even if 5,700 becomes resistance as a psychological number, we open a small gap up like here, we're still in danger of selling off. I really need to be up and over 57, 30s, 40s for me to really care about that magnet, and that's the one that we're seeing 3618 daily 50, then of course on the way to 5800 psychological, right? So I'm going to ignore that one if we're not up and over 5,700 with extreme, you know, speed here. I mean speed. A lot of confirmations needed. I guess we could find it too. So I like one thing. 1, 2, 3. Okay. One thing I do want to look at is this Trump candle. Remember this tweet candle was right here intraday too. I'm going to overlap that, see if I can't get anything. Okay, that is exactly to the penny. So these algos, they always love the same levels. And when we start overlapping a bunch of fibs, we don't leave them all on. We just see contact points. So here again, we have a contact point within 1 or 2 pennies of each other. The 2618 of the random tweet Trumpster here from Friday, that one knockout crazy candle that we had. The 2618 and 3618 of the lower 422 daily matchup now on the penny. That's interesting. So that gives us a little bit more conviction of the same thing. Let's talk about that for a sec. See the candle that we just did right here on the Trump high-low? We're stacking Fibonacci to see how strong each point is, because if we have multiple overlapping points, they're just the biggest support resistance. It's going to be super easy magnets. So now we have that price level. We just put out 5741.42, 1618, 1618 from the Thursday tag candle. And then you have the upside now overlapped for the 3618 and 2618 of the Trump. So it's really just adding that conviction, saying, hey, if we do open up over that 5740, we have yet another algorithmic really strong Fibonacci point to stay over to kind of push. So I am liking that more often than not. So we're finding extension points. We're just overlapping, coming back. We're remembering what we're seeing here. And we're kind of setting up for one of those super big gap up days where if we do open super high, has a little bit of a draw, we're going to be buying all that and running that up over, way over 5,700. That's what it's looking like right now. We do have these gaps, already gaps on double open GPs too, a couple of peaks. I think there's 2 singles and that's it below us. Yeah, I think that's it. Good. So with those 2 daily unique candles, and then we're fibbing over the intradays, which we just did, found some good overlaps. The big if is staying and getting over 5740s, 5750s, and killing off another 30, 40 points overnight. And I think final target for me is 5779.25 if we open up and hold 5733. So I'm super bullish above the gnarly 5-8 Thursday candle top there. So what you kind of want to do if you want to channel some of this stuff out, I do like to channel these a lot of the time too. And let's say we give this 1618 mixed with the 5741.42, all this stuff. Let's say we just mix it and overlap it. We could just use zones for that as well. So what we're going to do is keep that on. We don't need the price level because it's all zoned. So I could remove price level. I like the charts clean as can be here. So we have, remember, double overlaps on 3618, almost overlaps within a few points. I'd say about 15 or so. 3 different overlap points support here, 573312, the Trump candle overlap, and then we are still going to be dealing with 5723, I think. Yeah, because those are the no GPs. Cool. Got a half hour to still do yet on NQ. Last but not least, we go into the intraday here, or I like to do the intraday here, and we come in and remember this guy. This is the one. This was the neon green from Friday. The one that got away for the long. This is going to be the interesting last little piece here, I think. All right, so this guy right here at 1430. Remember, this was the 3618. We tagged the 3618 on this one already. And then everything else became back to the 100, and we wanted to go over this 100 and push into the GP. So this ES candle right here, 1430 Central Time for me, 15-minute, there's no GP tag on there. On Friday, we looked long after this 3618. It just washed it down. It opened up, ding, right into that 3618, nice pop. It recovers 2618, great. Recovers 1618, great, and hundo. And then the last leg, because we like to play stuff that recycles, Fibonacci recycles. So we get a high-low fib like this, we point it to the downside, we wait for all the extensions to hit, and then we wait for the extensions to recycle back up, generally after the 3618. That's my favorite right now. So you see it open, ding, hit 1, ding, hit 2, ding, hit 3, ding, hit 4. We had everything to the way to the downside, right? Well, technically 3. We broke was the first ding I said, but we broke out of the 100 and then we dinged 1, 2, and 3 618s. Now, the thing about that open GP and why we're kind of nursing up that long side is because this 15 still exists. Let's see if it, I don't know if NQ knocked that out or do we still hold that on NQ? Because I think the candle here, yeah, the Trump candle got it. So it's only ES's side. Nothing else on the 15 except for this guy. Oh, that's not good. If the downside's there, back down to 20K with that guy, because that's the only other one besides this guy, and the Trump candle hit him. Interesting, interesting. 20,800 be that magnet. Okay, we'll stick to ES. Right, meow. Yeah, so I like that setup right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to play long biased on any amount of gap up, and it's going to be well over 5,700. The strongest level, I think, on ES here that is going to correspond with me is the bottom of this 15. I don't think I'm going to like a lot of anything unless, you know, I like 5,700 as a psychological number, but we're going to say trending above 5,711 gets me everything I want up here. Start into the week I'm bullish. Extra points if it starts way the hell up here, the Trump tweet, because then I'll buy any dip right here into those gaps, and I'll probably leave some swings on to up here, because that looks like a really good magnet. We have not one, and again, remember 2618 is way down here, so unless we open way under yesterday's lows to magnet back to here, because that's going to be a back test as well for confirmation, right? Yeah, be a triple, but it's only because we already hit the 1618 right here on the extension of 430. So 1618, that's going to be the deciding factor to see if it wants to go to the 100. All right, I think I got it. What we're going to do, I'm going to delete that green dude there. We're going to use the 1618 from the no tag, and this is going to be my trade plan for the open. And again, it's just fun to speculate. Prediction is for poor people. Reaction is for rich people. We will react to what we see in the market. We won't pretend we know what's going on, but we will slap those buttons when we see the levels hit. So all I'm going to do is use that daily, and that's what I'm going to do my main on. So over under 5,733.12. We've decided on that. We're going to come in. Sentiment candles are far away, huh? We're doing them on the daily, that's why. Should have just redrew in the first place. We'll draw sentiment candles in the 15. Sometimes they scale for me. That one did. All right, and sentiment's going to look like this for open. Over under 5,733.12. I really hope we get the long first. That would be cool. And then what we're going to do is we're going to just channel that 15 GP from back here. And I'll probably make it a neon green channel. So the 15 that we had just said, oh, random clipping system there, random clipping system again. There we go. I used that bar snapping for the Fibonacci's on TOS, and it works once every 4 or 5 times. It just does whatever it wants. Okay, so we know this big... Should we leave it green? Should we like a... Maybe a blue. A lot of neon greens. We'll keep our sentiment neon green. The color doesn't show all that well. Like a mustard. I like the mustard. 57.20. So yeah, our box looks like it's going to be all that. I don't know if I want that above or below. Yeah, this will work good though. 5,700 is going to be huge as well. We got a couple things to watch here, that's for sure. So our best case scenario is, let's write it out. Over under large is going to be here, depending on price action. Actually, or obviously, we have the sentiment candles there. T1 long. It'd be so funny to gap up above all this stuff. This is just good practice, regardless of what happens. Doesn't matter to me. We're always reactive to it, but we like to plan this out, get our brain all juiced up and lubed up for the day here. Thursday's high is that 1618. Yeah, so the two bigger scenarios here, because the magnets, it's after we hit the 1618 on that daily, generally we come back down to the 100, but we're so close to taking that 3618. We missed it on Thursday. 0.69%, about 0.70. Yeah, we'll see. Let's set up the cues. I was already doing some cues. I'll do this one a little faster. All right. So right away, I want to see where the weeklies are, the no GP weeklies. I don't think we're going to open that far down. So I think we're we're okay. That 421 has a no tag weekly down there. I don't think I'm going to mess with that one. I don't think we need to. Let's just reset up here. Yeah, that would be insane to get that far away. All right, we're probably playing the Q side of things. Let's set this one up a little faster. Last week's fibs, high, low, like always. Boom, boom. Teal from me. Also, notice the doji of last week is channeled. Pay attention. Same color as the weekly fibbies. All right, we'll take our last day. Move it into the gold here. Golden fib. Wow, look at that. Interesting. So the perfect golden pocket of yesterday lines up exactly with that weekly doji. I dig that a lot. That's pretty nice. This magnet is open. This 5 minute might be the one that has the 3618s we were looking at that lines up with yesterday or the lows. Is this the 3618 one? Hell yeah, it is. Look at that. 3618, 3618. 0, 0. Long back two right here. Anything above this weekly sets us up for a green like this. I actually like the Qs a little more than I do ES today. So let's turn this one neon green so we don't lose our place. Intraday, 5 minutes are neon green. Dailies are gold. Weeklies. So I chart on TOS and trade on Topstep. Yep. The only bad thing about the trading view charting systems is a lot of the indicators are man-made, not tried and true tested by platform backtesters. So in the mix, like, let's say you grab your, where's one of my things here? So what if you grab one of your little Topstep accounts here like this, and you come in and you're fibbing everything out. Now I only do this for a couple different reasons. Now, one, moving averages just don't work on TradingView. I use moving averages highly, 100 EMA, 200 SMA, 10 SMA. You can get the 10 to work out pretty good on here. 100 EMA is always going to be off, 200 is always going to be off. And I'm talking like by points sometimes. So TradingView is kind of useless for me because none of the moving average indicators equal what Thinkorswim does. Thinkorswim is a tried and true old platform, and it gives us 1 algo candles, 2 exact moving averages, and 3 quick and real data. Now, we can't be trusting Topstep charts because, you know, technically, just because they get their data feed, their executions and everything is technically demo styled, right? When you get into it. So like this one right here, you know, well, where's my other? I have more markups on this other one. Hold on, let me bring that one up. All right, so this one, I thought I had this one laid out. Oh, this one has all my algos on it. Okay. Oh, I forgot to link these. Hold on. I got to link all 5 of these accounts on this one. Wait, what's the newest one? 47. Link all 5. Okay. Follower account. No, there we go. Link all express. So the one thing for trading view, in Topstep X and everything like that, this is what I use this for. Anchor view apps, okay? Anchor view apps and Fibbies. You'll see me execute trades, obviously, in the Topstep. I only chart in Thinkorswim. It has a way better platform. All of our indicators are also on Thinkorswim. So if I come into Thinkorswim, I use gaps a lot of the time. So on the 1 minute chart, you know, we're going to get gaps every once in a while, and I need to know where those are, right? I don't have a trading view custom indicator set because Topstep X, Project X, you name it, whatever the prop firms want to call there, it's all the same junk. They don't allow custom indicators. So a lot of the times I have to come to TOS, and let's say I go to my 1 minute chart, and I come back here, well, there's my gap indicator working away, so my eyeballs don't have to pick up a bunch of gaps. You see the gap on the 1 minute here, green one here, red one here, red one here, red one here and here, green one here, green one here. You can see my gap indicator is, you know, working on TOS, and I don't have a lot of these indicators on Topstep X. So, but what I would use Topstep X for, and if you guys are not seeing, or have not heard of these before, anchor view apps. So when I come in here, when I like to use Topstep X for, all I do is I like to stack indicators. I really like to see a lot of indicators in the same action. What I use is open, high, low, close 4 for my setting. And what I do is I pick unique candles, like the 5 minute we just fibbed out on the NQ. This is the one we just did on TOS. So we went like this. And we said, all right, pointed to the downside. This is the one that hit our 3618, which is my favorite fib. See right here is that 3618, right? And then as we look, we need a golden pocket tag. So when you draw a Fibonacci point from a high-low, we have all extensions with no 100, 20,201.50, right? That's Friday's action. So if we pick out a couple of these unique candles from the bottom, I like this one. That's a 3618 tag, right? And then this one is a 3618 tag. This one has the no GP. So this orange one comes from the candle in question for the fibs, the one that has no 100 backtest and no GP backtest, which means more often than not, we should be coming up here. But with all the good news, shit, we could open up here. We don't know. But the anchor view apps, this is by far the best. So I would pick a couple of anchor view apps by unique candles, and you can see how large some of these tail wicks are in this candle. Hits multiple points of interest like the 2618 and 3618 at the same time and is very large. So I'd put open, high, low, close on this one. And I'd also put one on the bottom here that hit the last two, and you can kind of see that makes a little spaghetti rainbow, right? It makes a trail of support resistance, and a lot of the times it does get respected. And as you can see, we were actually looking for that downside after it had held the 1618, came down to the 3618. If you notice where these two anchors were committed from this candle top, 9:15 a.m., this candle at the bottom, 9:35, these two orange little spaghetti dudes right here acted as perfect break over, right here. Back test of confirmation up to the 1618. Back testing support right at the end of the day. Still looking to continue that trend. We're coming from low, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low. Still have that trend to the upside on the 5 minute. And what I do is I like to confirm that trend with these low sketties, which is the open, high, low, close anchor view apps. And I'll leave these 5 accounts on. I have another 2 prop funded on these. And what I'm going to do is probably just run these 7 today. So I might leave that lone one and our other... What should I do with that one? Our other one's alone for now. We'll come back and we gotta have something to trade tomorrow. You can't just trade all the accounts today, get done, and then lock them out. How we trading on Sunday? Futures open at 5 p.m. Central, my friend. Less than 20 minutes. It's 4:42 Central. The QQQ is the NQ. The SPY is the ES, and we will be trading live NQ here in about 17 minutes because it opens at 5 p.m. Sunday. Expecting a gap up. We'll go back to China news. That's the going rate right now. That's what we see. If I kick back on the news here, and you go back on some of the we use the trade exchange here. They're pretty good. They put out a weekly report. A lot of good live here. But yeah, all through Sunday, we've been getting a lot of good news. And as we kind of seen at the end there, they were Putin, Zelensky crap. I don't know how strong that's going to mix. I think the Chinese tariff news is going to kind of take precedent over that. But they were pumping that a lot. Trade talks were constructive. I mean, has agreed to establish consultation mechanism trade economic issue will carry on further consultations. They're just fluffing it, you know. You read some of this stuff and it's all bullish fluff, you know, and I don't know if that's going to, you know, react the way they want it to, where it's like gap and go. It's where it just continues to our target, which is 3-3 candle, no GP, which is super high up there. But that's the expectation. Yeah, I would say that over anything else. But again, the market is allowed to do whatever the market wants. So when we let's see here, let's move that back over. All we can do is react to the market, you know. Yeah, exactly, Leon. That's the thing. You really gotta watch what they say. You know, the algos don't exactly know how to calculate human emotion. So when the algorithm picks up certain words on news pieces or on X like it does, and then the stock market starts flipping out and goes bonkers, it doesn't know digestion. So it only knows how to kick the algos back and forth, and hopefully to the GPs and golden pox and everything else that we do. So, but yeah, we're almost ready to kick this bad boy off for the trade, and I gotta fix my thing here. Notifications here. Yeah, we only got about 15 minutes here. Everybody cracking them off here. We'll be in for Friday London high taking. Okay, yeah, I could see that. I wouldn't mind that at all. How do I like top one? Yeah, I'm not overly interested in. It's okay. It's beneficial if you're a prop firm trader. It's beneficial to have multiple prop firms, test them out if they work. Some come and go, some are around for a long time, you know, like Topstep is. Some will pay you, some won't, but they're kind of new, so it's kind of good to get in with it. The only reason I tested them is because Topstep X, you know, the trading view mix that they got going on with you know, trade platforms, they call it Project X or whatever. It's just a copy of Topstep X, so I felt right at home using it. So when I jumped on and I don't know, we did like $8,000 this last week here, and we got our first bet through the 100K like funded. It's fine. I don't agree with 20% consistency, but I do agree that they don't have trading consistency. One of the biggest things in prop firms, and you can take this one to the bank, like Apex, that has certain rules just not to pay out traders. That's the only reason they have certain rules, and it makes it extremely hard for traders to be traders. Like Apex will give you the availability to use whatever contracts you want, so you're allowed to use 1 to 7, you know, 1 to 10 MNQ, 2 to 3 NQ, ES, but then in the rules they say that, oh, we don't want you bouncing from NQ to MNQ and then ES to MES, we're going to deny you. Oh, you know, they're going to allow you to do all these things. They're going to unlock your account, allow you to trade these any way you want, right? But then they're going to hit you with consistency, contract sizing, consistency for percentages, all this other absolute ridiculous stuff. It's obviously a scam. And then the biggest payouts are obviously influencers that bring them hundreds of thousands a week in payments. It's obviously a big old, you know, bucket shop. So no big deal there. Even worse than a bucket shop, I suppose. But if you were a you know, a real trader and you can trade and you go to, you know, Topstep X, you're perfectly fine with 50% consistency. I'm way more amped for Topstep. Topstep has never denied any $108,000 in my payments since February of this year. I owe you guys an update video. I'll do it either tomorrow or the next day here. I'll log into my bank accounts and show you guys that we cleared over 100 grand since February 1st so far, testing out Topstep. So we did kill it. We're at 6 digits now for that, which is cool. What else was I say? Oh, top one. There are a couple cool things about top one. I'm not impressed with the 20%, you know, you can't make this much money, even if you're capable. I mean, we've knocked out 8, 20, you know, $20,000 days sometimes on a single account, and you shouldn't get penalized for that if you know what you're doing. You know, shouldn't be a consistency payout rule, in my opinion, which Topstep avoided for a very long time. But as long as you don't have trading consistency rules where you can only trade 1 to 3 NQ, and if you go over that, even though we allow you to go over that, we're going to penalize you. You know, that's just the dumbest scam setup ever. Like, that's just crazy. Where, well, you're allowed to take 8 contracts, but we only want you to take 4. why don't you just limit it to 4 then? Why not just only allow you to trade 4 so people can't have accidents and you can't deny them, or people aren't worrying about an extra rule for absolutely no reason? It just doesn't make any sense. If you want traders to only trade 4 contracts, do what Topstep does and let them unlock it as they go. I think Top 1 is a little bit more pay to win as well. Topstep X is still cheaper and still better to get to a funded. Just takes an extra half of it, not even. Now with the new dashboard, if you're on there, you can get same day express accounts. Top 1 is a pay to win, and it is a little bit more expensive once you apply all the modifiers at checkout. So you have to pay extra just to be able to trade your account the way you want to. That I think is a little scummy. They're just money grabbing with that, but I don't know. They pay out and they don't have consistency trade rules, unlike they do have consistency capital rules where you can't make, you have to prove 20%, which is fine if you're a consistent regular trader and you just want another platform to play a couple side ones later on in the day and keep going. Great. Topstep X though has never denied anything from me. We've gotten a great amount of money out of them. They're fantastic. We're going for live this time on this grouping of accounts. We're about halfway there. I didn't do a couple big trade days on these. I'm pretty picky with the last 2, but we're going to go for full live on Topstep now and then test their live accounts if we can get up there. Last time we did 29 days straight green and I missed it by 1 day. So I took too big of a payout and I got trapped in one of those 330 point NQ candles, or maybe it was MNQ, but yeah, it was, we got smacked because there was only a couple grand left in the account we took a bunch of money out of. So is what it is. But yeah, Top 1 with the consistency rules. One other cool thing about Top 1 is you can swing trade. They allow you to do that. So I mean, there's pros and cons. My trading style, I can fluctuate from day trade scalps to longer holds if I want to. So I opened up Top 1 and I have one of the huge accounts left here, 150K, and one of the tiniest ones. So what I like to do is use the tiny one. You can only do a couple MNQ or 1 mini. I'll just swing them. I'll put 1 limit order at an overnight where I know the Fibonacci is going to bounce. It'll fill. I'll go to sleep. I'll wake up. It'll either be there in the morning or it won't be. It doesn't matter to me. We already got our payout, so it's nothing. Oh, I forgot to scroll down here. Official deal. How do you like Top 1? Just realized there's 3K. Yeah. 10K profit with AI. Yeah, I don't mind them. Just an affiliate harm. As long as they pay, yeah, that's fine, man. Hey, run your game, man. I'm not mad at anybody. Do whatever you want to do. The intraday was kill me on Apex. Take profit trader, comfortable. Topstep, same. Yep, 100%. No consistency rules on trading. It's ridiculous to restrict somebody. Like when I'm trading a trade and we're coming into this, there's some days where it's CPI, there's FOMC, there's a lot of uncertainty. I'm going to use micros. I'm going to be on MES. If I'm real timid, I'm like, I don't know, I kind of want to do some trading. I kind of see some setups, but I don't trust the market. I don't trust a Trump tweet. I'm going to be on micros. And then one day we come in and I'm like, oh, I have a really good setup today. I want to be on minis today. And I want to do 2, 3, 4, 5 minis because this is my grade A setup. I'm going to get in, and then I get penalized for that at some prop firms. Like, come on, man. Absolutely nuts. You have to let traders be traders. The whole reason that there's all these instruments to trade is to trade them. You're going to limit us by making the correct decision to not add risk to our accounts. You're going to penalize us for that by swapping contracts back and forth. Scam. Get out of here with that. Yeah, the intraday stuff is gnarly. I have friends that got paid through Top 1 account and 1 payout. Yeah, 100%. I got my payout. I was going to do an update for my crew tomorrow morning, but yeah, it's they sent mine. 3K for me. I didn't nothing wrong with them. Good to hear. Rules are very confusing. Yeah, it's Topstep and Top 1. There's no stupid just consistency rules. That's it. Change your contracts. Do whatever the hell you want. Go MNQ, NQ, max out back and forth. Scalp this one. Hold this one forever. Overnight does not matter. Be a trader. That's what their slogan should be. They allow traders to be traders, and that's perfectly fine. That's what you need to do. You can't be making up all these ridiculous ass rules for any reason to deny a trader a payout. It's bonkers. And people, they see $16 account signups and, oh, but this one guy made $1 million off him. Yeah, well, they're going to get paid out if they bring in $200,000 in commissions to a company. They're not going to put him under the same rules they're going to put you under. They're just going to take your money. Come on now. This week could be interesting based on where we're at. I agree. The big moving averages of the 200 SMA daily, 100 EMA are going to be huge over under today. What's that be? I'll give you a live account after you get 5 pets. I don't know. Oh, you mean like Topstep? Yeah, Topstep would. I didn't get a 5 payout one, but I also didn't take 5 payouts on the other grouping because I don't take a payout every single week. I like to give myself a little cushion in the accounts. But once you do 30 days in a row, they'll give me a live account, and I'm about halfway there on these accounts. Do you do the giveaway? Nope, I do it at the end of the stream. About 30 minutes I will. I play the opening 30 here, so we got 8 minutes left, and we're going to play a little futures, see if we can't get a scalp or 2 in on these accounts. Hopefully. If not, oh well. we'll see. I don't care about Mondays too much. I just like to come in here and watch the setups, especially this setup right here. The NQ setup. I'll draw it on the screen here in a sec. We should get ready for that here because we're getting kind of close. I'll do it in about 3 minutes here. But yeah, Cooks, they'll give you a after 30 trade days, I think, or 5 payouts live account. But when you go into your live account, you want to make sure you have, you know, a good chunk of money too. You don't want to just rush to live, because if you have 5 accounts, like right now we're running one setup with 5 accounts in them, and all these have about 2 or 3 payouts on them. And this guy right here, all these expresses, they're not very high. This one has $6,400 in it. This one's got $2,000. That one's got $4,000. That one's got $4,500. That one's got $4,300. So they're stacked up a little bit here, but the essence of these accounts getting to live, the point is to have all these at like $8,000 to $5,000, you know, $5,000 minimum to 8 to 10, you know, because they're going to take all of my Express accounts together and they're going to smush them all together and give me one live account. So I want all these accounts to be like 8 to 10 grand. So I get a $50,000, $60,000, you know, somewhere up in there, live account. I don't want to go in there with a 6 to 8. I mean, because if we're only using one account, we don't have any modifiers. We're not multiplied by 5, right? We're not, you know, if you have $1,000 a day, you make $5,000 because you got 5 accounts. Well, that's great. But on the live account, we're going to need to do a little higher risk, a little higher contract utilization to get to where we used to be, you know, cooking. So we got to get those up there in order to, where are my drawings here? In order for them to crunch a nice big live account for me here. No, we're way over there. I thought oh, that's the mustard range for the 15. Okay. Yeah, we got to crunch these down to the 1 minute here. We got about 5 minutes. The fuse are ready to go. Yeah, they force you to go live at 5 payouts, and they also give $1,000. It's gonna. Oh, really? Wait, daily loss limit. On a live account? I don't think they have that. The risk team will work with you to increase your daily. Really? I was told differently. Interesting. In the Discord. They could be wrong in the Discord, though. Oh, you can only take 50K? Oh. Okay, maybe I'll take a payout on some of these other accounts and I'll... Oh, no, that's 10 grand for each one. I have 5 of them. That's fine. No, okay, we're working on it. Thank you for that. I didn't know you could only take 50 into them. Good to know. Appreciate it. Thank you. I did not know $1,000 daily loss in my live account. I don't know. I'll have to check on that again. Yeah, the Discord was, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when I get there. I mean, I could very well just pop these. I'm still human. Who knows? You know, just because we made $100 and some thousand since February out of it doesn't mean it doesn't guarantee me I'm gonna win these small accounts all the way up. I'm gonna try my hardest here, but sometimes the market gets me too, man. Last time we passed 8 Express accounts, or no, 8 Express accounts, we could only access 5, and I still have a couple of Express accounts sitting there, so I kind of want to get payouts on some of these and see what happens after that. New to trading. Market opens at 5 p.m. Central Time for futures, and then when it goes overnight, you're going to get your 3 a.m. next day, Monday morning stock open. Midnight will be SPY and QQQ, the ETF tickers, but we're futures traders. So futures, we play the first. I played the first 30 minutes or so. In futures trade, just like stocks. So if you're new to trading, look up futures trading. I would. You can trade 24 hours a day. It only closes between, what is it, 3:30 and like 5 or something like that, or 4 and 5? 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. I think it is. But the prop firms, if you're trading on those, a little bit different. But let's just say 24 hours a day. They only close for an hour through the late afternoon, and then they open right away 5 p.m. the next day, and they continue trading on. There's no PDT either, so you don't need $25,000. Prop firms are great. Yeah, but they will work with you. You're really good, so I don't know. We'll see. Depending on which account size you have. Okay, that also makes sense. These are all 50K accounts, I believe. I don't think I have any of the hundreds left. It doesn't say. They're all just Express accounts. So my style is Anchor, VWAPs, and Fibonacci. Those are the 2 things I use the most of. Lots of Fibonacci. All right, what we're going to do on NQ here, we're going to mark off that 15. I'm going to delete all these green zones, clean it up a little bit. Remember, guys, huge on the green zone for the teals. The green sentiment, T1, we're going to put target longs up here. And this is, of course, just if we open in line. I'm assuming we could be opening up in a pretty big gap up. We'll see. I don't know. It can do whatever it wants. We'll do long above our weekly level here. And we're looking for that green sentiment candle right there. Same with the ES as well here. Let's crunch these down a little bit. What I mean by is just get a lot of stuff on the screen, make the candles real small, because where this gap up goes, we want to be able to see it. You can also close after 30 days win, get all the money out, and restart for a comment. Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, I could just do that too. I mean, I kind of want to trade with them live because I want to trade them. Okay, careful, guys. You got about a minute left. I want to do a trade. I want an affiliate link to promote Topstep and help my community to get a discount. So if I could get a discount for just my community members and trade them, say, hey, I'll trade live for you. I won't trade my big massive account. I'll trade this account. I won't trade my cash account, or I will on other props and stuff like that. We'll still do small account challenges, but I want to see if I can get a discount code from Topstep and an affiliate so I can get my team some discounts. That's the only reason I'm going to try to go whole live with them. You ever set a limit above the open? No, I don't do that. No, that's actually against the rules in Topstep too. They won't let you do that. If you set random limits, and I think they call it ghost ordering or something like that, it's in the FAQ rules to not get filled like that. So I try not to get my accounts taken away. No. They're testing affiliates soon. I hope so. They'll see if they pick us. That'd be cool. First link in the description, Mr. Phil. Anybody that trades with us, we've been doing this for 10 plus years. All right, here we go. Let's see where the candle opens. I never trade until about 40 seconds over the first 1 minute here, so we'll see here. Yep, gap up. All right, we hit the 1618. So right here, we have our magnet set for the ES side of things. That is anything over 573312. We are going to go long city here. So I'm going to focus most likely over there. And where is the NQ? We're at the 1618 over here. Eesh. I'm going to trade the ES long instead of this one, I think. All right, here we go. We'll see what we get at the last minute here. All right, 30 seconds into this candle. I wait till about 45, 55 seconds here. We'll see if this is it, because we wanted to open and find support at 57.50. All right, first GP clearance is going to be pretty close up here. So probably going to open in line. You got 10 seconds. We want to hold 57.50 here, and I want to ES trade up to where our targets are. So remember, it's anything above the 1618 here for sentiment all the way up. So, okay. We got one fill up on the top there. We got one left. And again, the ES long, anything if it opened up above that was going to be on deck for long. Remember, magnet to the 3618. I don't think we're going to go 30 some points to the upside, but we're going to have to just see how she goes here. Everything's long biased at the moment. 20,500 might be a pretty big bump for your head right there on NQ. Watch out for that. No tag daily 50 magnet and 5780. So what we do too is I like to come in here. I'm going to remove that channel. I like to fib out the first 1 minute as well. And if we stay inside the golden pocket here, we should move up to 1618. So again, let's take this, activate. This is what my green trade will look like for a continuation here. That's if we stay inside the 1 minute candle, obviously. She starts dropping off and cutting down. It's going to go down to 57.33, and then we'll deal with it then. But as long as it holds in the inside 1 minute candle, we'll look for continuation longs here. NQ still kind of holding up there. We're still above 57.50. Remember, that's our support point. We just tagged into 57.50. That's what I need to see hold in order to get back into a nice little long song up here. If it drops 57.50, no trades. We got our one scalp of 195.80. That was it. She looks like she wants to magnet down to this right here. We'll see what NQ wants to do. NQ still holding up. SPY's divergence here. You can see the NQ holding up super nice there. And if SPY starts to drop under 57.50, I'm going to short NQ because ES will drag it down. If we hold in the next couple minutes of 57.50, I'll just go long for the ES here. We'll see which one's which. Right now we're seeing SPY lead to that downside. We're still holding 5750, but no big cracks, but it looks like she might attempt. We'll see. Under 20,431, that slip right there might be pretty cool to take a play on. We'll see. It needs to go under 5750, and I'm probably going to chase the NQ short because it has divergence. ES is obviously at the lower of the 1 minute candle already, but we'll see. We're still in long. Anything above 5750 is still long, so let's zoom this back up here a little bit. There we go. 11.64. Q's doing pretty good there. We just need our magnets to play out now because we did shy that 50, which is a good thing, which means we can come back up to 57.59. See that shy right here on minute number 2? See right there? We don't actually have a 50 tag. So if we hold above 57.50, we do have a pretty much free trade right to, oh, shitty MacBook. Hold on. Yeah, we'll see here. New 5 minute candle in 50 seconds. Oh, NQ getting a little heavy there. Little snaps there. Little snaps there. We need 57.50, that's all. That's got to be the hold point for me. Okay, getting a little heavy at that 57.50 there. Might be the NQ's turn to come down a smidge. Let me take that scalp here. I think that's going to be the one. Little cut down an NQ shorted there. Wow, no bid pickup there. Rude. I had a $350, $345 out right there, and it did not fill. Ran me over. It hates me. All right, we got one fill. One closed right there. Again, break of 57.50. I said I'd short NQ, so anything under that 431. Looking for the downside. We're on the micros, bros. This is too slow here. We're under 2431. I don't know if we're going to hold that or not. 20,400 was good support. The bid and ask is so wide right here. That's nuts. Oh, how did we... Piano... Oh, okay. That's just top scam fills. All right. Okay, Topstep, if you say so. Wide open fill there. That was 300 and something... 313, so 333. Still no tag in the 15 or 5 minute GPs here. NQ still holding up. Pretty ugly so far. Still NQ short. Still working. Down to the bottom of the candle is what all I want to see now, which is pretty much that break of 20,400. I don't know if that's going to be possible or not, but we'll see if we get it. Did you just run my fill over again? You got to be shitting me, dude. I don't know if it's our day. Yeah. Yeesh. Top Scam is definitely getting me on the fills. It only filled 2 of that. Wow, man. I should be up 550. Hold on, let me just drag it on the screen. You guys can see it. We're up 250.30 right here across our 5 accounts, and it took 3 times banging into the same level right there for that scalp to work. That was pretty bonkers. I tried to throw it on the screen, but it filled as I pushed it back up right there. But yeah, oh well, it is what it is. 250 bucks times 5 ain't too bad, but we're going to try to get a little bit of a dipola because we're under 57.50. So the magnet down to that 15 or 10 SMA or anything should be coming quick. 10 SMA is coming in hot, so maybe we sit down until then. That would be kind of nice as well. I wouldn't mind that. We're doing all right. Yeah, spread's crazy. I agree. Yeah, you shouldn't be trading this one if you're... I'm not getting the best fills here. I just lost 2 $300 trades. We're only up 360 bucks times 5. I should be up 580, 600 right now. That's okay. I only take 1 to 2 contracts NQ. 5 to 10 on NQ pending. It's because we were talking about him. Could be. Growing contingent traders. Yeah. Well, for now, we'll lock that in, I guess. That was a BE stop right there, what we usually do here. We're waiting for that 10 SMA to hopefully maybe kick us back up. But here's all the express accounts off those. That was $357.90 times 5, which again should be way more than that, but it is what it is. I wonder if we come back up for that 50. We're still looking for the ES to do this right here. Anything over 57.50 would go long into the 50 fib right here. So if we do get a little break through the bottom of this candle, I don't mind coming back up. First tag on the 10 SMA there too. I'll take this long, I think. Ha! Thanks. Much love, my friends. Much love. Oh, the slip fill on what was that? 30 points? That was a $1,400 scalp long, you dirty. First tag of the 10 SMA is what I was planning for here. Price action was coming. Like you said, 10 SMA in the blue here was coming up. Popped it up. These cocksuckers. We're only at 1,000 now. I just had a $1,400. That's my third slip. I think we're done. I think we're going to wait till tomorrow. We're up $1,000 on off. So we made $5,000, but what a fucking jerk move that was. It just slipped me like 15 points on that fill. Keep going long, I think. Maybe I'll try one more here. I'll go to my top one account. Maybe it's them. Let's go top one. Show them what's up, top one. Come on, buddy. ES1 here. So we're going long ES here on top one. See if I can't catch up to my express accounts here. And I just want to see over 57.50, push to 57.59 if we get that. So what's the ending target right here? 57.59. We'll put flat out for that one. 57.59. Limit sell 1. So we're entered down at 5,750 as the plan states. We're long there. I'm only going to take 1 on this one because my feelings are hurt because I'm only up $5,000 instead of 8 plus. Frickin' jerks. So we're going long to 57.59 right here. From 57.50. I'm going to go for 9 points here. Good thing. Maybe last trade scalp here since it's being so mean. Not bad though. $5,000 opening. We can't be too mad at that, but she did steal about $2,000. Oh, wells. All right, 10 SMA. The one thing we need to work on here is 10 SMA rolling support. It's starting to point down there. I don't like that, so we got to break through the purple line here. That's the volume weighted average price. So anything above 57.50, I'm going 9 points up right now, just to the GP. I'm long on the top ones right now. We're heading up with my limit orders out at 57.59 up there. I'm riding a small amount this time, no bigs. Just a baby trade here. I mean, it's a pretty good amount, but we should get up there because we're all we play is Fibonacci boxes, man. That's it. Fib high low, in box go to retracement, outside box go to extension. Simple as that. We got to get just a kick back up here to fill that 1 minute. So if I stretch this down, you can probably see what I'm talking about here. You see the second minute candle of the day right here? Notice how we didn't hit the high low of the minute. So we have a fib high to low on the opening candle. We did not hit 57.59.24. We're up $250 right now. I might put a break even on this just in case I see I think there's a flash candle. Yeah, let me just put a B on just in case. We'll put a B. Because if this thing flashes down, I just don't want to get kicked out too hard here. We're going probably 20,050 on the NQ side of things because we held that 50, held that 10 SMA. So as long as we're above the 10 SMA, we should get the 9 points to the upside here. Keyword should, right? Let me open my last other account here that we got. We have too many prop accounts. Too many. $57.50 has got to be that hold here for us. So and we got to get up to 57. 9 57.59. Let's put an out up there. Yeah, that works. Okay. Pretty much everything's in. So we're in on all things here. We're going for the 1 minute 50 Fibby here. NQ, like I said, is the one today. She's cooking. We got this one left right here. He's got to get up to 57, 58, 3/4. Then we got the top ones. Everything's in the same here, guys. I don't want to just litter the screen with a bunch of dumbass shit, but as you can see, everything's in. Always. Come on, we're above VWAP. Where's my squeeze candle? Where's my quick squeeze? I'll just write T1 up here. Target 1, friends, right here. Little pullback there, nothing too crazy. Yeah, everything's still flowing good here. How are you guys doing? You guys making any money out of this? It looks pretty good. As long as she's holding VWAP, we're okay with it. Not touching the Asia session? Yeah. I don't mind that. There's certain sessions that are just not fun. I hear you there. 57.59. We could even go a little smaller than that, I guess. 10 SMA might be rolling spot. We might be waiting for a little 10 SMA kiss right here and then continuation the blue line right there. And the over-under is 57.50. We start to break back under that. We got to stop out because we're up 4 points, so we got to stop out flat. We don't want to do any reds here. This account might actually go red out of the 10 that we use here, but nothing to worry about quite yet. The ES is severely lagging on this move, so I'm hoping she wakes up off the 10 SMA, but if she just dumps her, that's okay. We got 4.5 points to worry about. We're not worried about and utilize, so we're totally fine here. We get a BE stop, no big deal. Living vicariously too. It's all good. Washing is fun. 2 trades, 17, my man. Nice, dude. Holding that 10 SMA here, guys. That's what we want to see. Anything holding the 10 SMA, the little blue line that's pushing the price action up. We just need to stay above the VWAP here. Again, if we start rejecting VWAP, we have to break even stop down here. right about the 57. Well, it's pretty much 57.50. That's where we got in because we broke over that 57.50. And if we go flat, we'll lock in the 5,800 bucks green. And I'm going to go hang out with the kids. If it cracks back down to 57.50 and I get profito stopped out, which is perfectly fine. Profit stops are good. We always utilize those. We can make a note on the screen. Must hold right here. Because if we hit this, we got a BE out, which means break even. And if we stop out at 57.50 on the break even, we only made $5,800 today. I shouldn't say only. That's an assload of money. We're happy with it. Stopped loss. I like that. So that's good. Locked in 250. Nice, dude. Great hit. Stopped on the new roll firm trade prop firm at a time. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. One prop firm at a time. Yep, I like that. Oh, did I just kick us out? 2 tick. Yeah. Man. That's all right. This guy's still in. We profit stopped on the 5Kers. We made 5,800 bucks. And we're down 200 bucks over here. So not a bad start. I've had worse starts to the day. And this other little dude's up 389, so that trumps the 250 red. So regardless, we're fine here. I like the Q's divergence here. It's just going through a little support. It's always a new trade. Heck yeah. That's the mentality to have. You don't ever want to marry a single trade, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh no, it's like, who cares? Let go of a $200 trade. Let go of a little red 2, a little red 3, a little red nonsense. Who cares? You'll get it back. Especially if you set up for a real big solid trade, right? We got profit stopped out at 57.50, so it's all right. 5,400 bucks is nothing to shake a stick at in 20 minutes of trading. So make 3 across 6. Nice job, dude. Have a good one. Oh, it's Delta. We'll see you in chat, brother. Yeah, always a new day too. Absolutely. I like the stop loss. That's a funny. That's all. That's good. You got to use that. Stopped loss, not a stop loss. You stopped your loss. That's cool. Yeah, we got that 50 magnet now as well to the bottom. 57.4650. So your line in the sand pretty much is 57.49 and a quarter, guys. That's the tough one. You guys kind of got to hold the line down. Let's see, 1, 2, because that'll cook all the way down. Yeah. No, that's it. It's got to stay above 57.49 and a quarter. If it doesn't, you're going to get a knee jerk down to that 46.50. And we're talking about the GP right here of 1708. So if you draw another fib on this minute candle right here, it has no 50 tag. I don't know if you've seen that or not, but scammer, a little shy right there. And for this one right here, if it doesn't hold 57.50 and a quarter, you're going to come down to this GP right here, which you got a pretty good scam to do that right now. We have all perfect support, all magnets to the upside. So, you know, why not go the opposite way, which makes sense because it's after hours. We're already profit stopped out, so we're sitting over here with a tiny one on one left account. So I'm going to watch this for a minute. I'll see what the new 15 closes with here. We got a new for 6 minutes after that one. I kind of want to see what the 530 does. And we're going to hit this guy right here at 746.50. So that'll be that GP right down here. Guarantee, because again, it's perfect long. So do the opposite. It's every day when we see the after hours trading here. We have a 10 hold. We got a higher low forming, no GP magnets. It should have held up here, so absolutely short all the longs. Good short setup. That was the first VWAP projection. We play that a lot as well. We came down, came up, hit the purple VWAP, and rejected. Ugh. Yep, she's got a leaking 10. We also discussed that. Pointing down 10 was kind of obnoxious too. So let's take this, point it to the downside, because we're going to get all the scam here. 0 longs as we were profit stopped out. And 57.38.61 is the downside for that. It's going to play the game of what magnet do I want to play. So that just makes everything here a class C trade. All junkers now. So you'd be waiting for a real setup. Unless you're shorting NQ on the chase there, you could you might see some relevance under 20,000 430 here. That 1618, you might actually cook with some speed here. We'll see. Kind of like it's doing right there. It's going to hit that support we were talking about there. So if it does click right back up, don't be surprised. That's the support of this right here. We just talked about 1708 candle. And we've had nothing but red stacked candles right here. So I don't know if we're going to get any more follow through or not. We're outside the range though, so it's anybody's game. It's all biscuits here. ES starting to speed up there. We could see a bottom tag candle of NQs. Like I said, I'll chase NQ short again here if it permits me to do so. Because we could leg 20,400 back test. I mean, we shied it before, but I'll put a limit order down there. We'll see if we get her. Order filled. I'm just doing a small chase right here down on NQ. Like I said, ES is front running, which means NQ is not at lows. Notice ES trending lows. NQ still has room to go. So I'm chasing the rubber band. If ES pulls first, NQ will follow. ES is lower than NQ, so I swapped over to NQ and chased it to the short side. And I'm chasing it to the bottom. About 12 points left. How far in the daily are we from the 200? We need a magnet test of that. 233869. Oh, nice. We got a fill. I didn't even hear the ding at 406. All right, top one's out. So we're done on that one. We're done on top one, 886 and 340 on this one. So this prop's done. That's another 1,200 added to our 54. So let's call it about 6,800 bucks today. And we have one express left. That's it. I got to save some of these accounts so I can trade with my crew tomorrow. So we can't just win all this and be done. How are you guys doing here? Not bad. ESP, man. I stared at these charts way too long not to have at least a little ESP. I feel like it'd be rude not to give me at least a little ESP. The market owes me a lot of ESP. Thoughts on China news? The only thing I really thought was going to be a sell the news event. If it popped up the algorithms, all it does is give it a chance to sell right now. I don't think we're continuing. The word deal was never made. Attempted deals and all this other stuff that they're pussyfooting around with, and they don't have anything set in stone doesn't mean anything. I mean, look at these Trump tweets that you're getting right here. Look at this long ass thing. For many years, the world has wondered. Prescription, you know, he's just put the phone down, Trump. Just stop. I'm gonna need you to chill out. Take away the phone. We have a triple no GP tag setting up here. Yeah, the guy's nuts, honestly. I've never seen anybody that crazy on the tweets. Okay, let's lock out those accounts. We'll work on this one and our other 4 here. Yeah, trading under the 10. I don't see anything but kind of a more destructive downside to a lot of this stuff yet. Backtest at 20,400 potentially, but so what you want to see here, your next trade, guys, the only thing I see here, so I'm going to hop off here in a minute, hang out with the kids for dinner movie night. I only like to trade the first 30 here, but that's where all the volatility is, where all the good magnets are. Notice I have no golden pockets here, so the triple bar indicator that we give out here free for our service for TOS or TradingView if you got it, puts your golden pocket on every candle that doesn't have one for high-low fibbies. And when we see one like this, that's a double, and we need one more. And right now we got 1 minute left. So what typically happens is we don't follow through with 3 of them. It'll pop back up to the second. So you're going to see a green candle potentially here for a little bit of a poke up, and then we're going to reassess where we're at here with that 5 minute. And then I'll give you my thoughts on the rest of the night here before we hop out, because we got to give away some accounts here in a minute as well. All of our friends that support our channel here, we're going to give away a couple of them, and we're going to give away more next week. We're going to give away like 4, because a lot of my members keep winning and they keep saying give it to new people on YouTube. So I can't even give away accounts. All my members keep winning them, and they're like, oh, nah, just give it to the next guy. But I have a crazy, amazing community of almost a decade of doing boiler room trading here. We're very small, very very calm, collected, and good. We're not fast-paced people. We get a random comment picker here so we can give away some accounts. There's 3 no-tag GPs there. So generally speaking, we pop up and fill the third one. See how there's 3 bars white here, 3 bars white here, 3 bars white here. It'll pop back up and get one of those before it comes down, and it just did right there. Not bad, not bad. Maybe she'll come up for this one too. We're shying that 1618 as well. I think we have all the minute tags for this guy, right? Just not ES. Yeah. Cool. And I'm feeling lucky today. We like luck. All right, well, since we're pretty much locked out, we almost did 7K. Let's give away some stuff. So I can get on with the kiddos, man. Let's give away 2 accounts. $50 hollers. All you had to do is be subscribed and comment on one of my last week's videos. Only 4 of them. That's all you had to do is comment on one of the videos. I'm going to go pick that video right now. We'll take 2 days ago. We had an $8,400 short trade. Yeah, let's do that one. 26 comments. All right, cut. Go right here. Pasty paste. I think we got to do some math here. Wait, filter duplicates. Yep. 12. Get the comments. How many do we got? 28. All right, let's see which one of you amazing individuals wins this. Let's go. Fragilously? I probably murdered that. Thanks, P. No problem. Well, if this is you, my friend, Fragilici. I'm not quite sure what the name is. But if you won, please hit me up. You got a free $50. Send me out X, PayPal, or Venmo, and I appreciate the comment, appreciate the support. If this is you, please reach out. All right, one more, friends. One more. Pick another winner. All right, you guys ready? SETI. And Zest TX. I don't know if that's a Zest X, but amazing video. That's all you had to do is win. My friend, Zest X, I don't know if you're in here, buddy, but hit me up on X, please. All you got to do is send me a private message. If you got a PayPal, you got a Venmo, you got $50 coming your way, my friend, with a simple comment. That's it. 2 accounts. Hey, Zest is in the chat. He says, yo, congrats, Brady. Thanks for actually tuning in, man. Love to see it. And since you're president here, we get you paid right away if you want. Send me your, since I'm on right now, X, shoot me a message. I'm really bad at social media, so if it doesn't come through or if it's in my folder, give me a second. I promise I'll get to you. I just got to figure out how. Cool. Congrats, buddy. Thanks again for the support, man. This coming up Saturday, just to note, anybody that's still here, this coming up Saturday, we're going to get a live class. I got my internet fixed, which is cool. I was only doing 400 upload and download. We're up to like 900 now. So that modem that I had before was not performing the way it should, which I'm pretty stoked about, actually, because now this modem is like double the internet speed. 1 month PRT sub? That'd be cool. We should give one of those out. Hell yeah. Yeah, why not? We'll give away one this coming up week. Why not? Message me on X. Cool. Trying to watch this long right here, dude. This 1618 bounce almost ticked in right there. Usually it returns to 57.50 now and get about 10 points there. Hold on. How do I get to additional? Wait. Holy cow, there's a bunch of... Ooh. Wait, how do I... Oh, it's just... Zest X right in the top. Here it is. Accept. There he is. He's already got the sub there. Cool. Awesome, man. Send me your... do you have PayPal or Venmo, my friend? I'm looking at a long if it holds the 1618. I'm not longing right now. We're not above the 10 SMA. We can't go long yet. The only thing I want to see is a short for an NQ chase, or if the SPY starts bouncing right here from the 1618, it would come back up to 57.50 if it gets over the 10. This trade, it requires the price action over the 10. No ifs, ands, buts, nothing. Do not mess with that, okay? Has to hold. I can't be long yet. So send me your Venmo or Z PayPals, my boy. Nope, there's a red candle. We finally hit that 1618 there. So if you got one of those two things, or whatever else here, or all my monitors will randomly shut off. That works too. What the heck? Okay, they're all back. I must have bumped this Ivanki thing. Oh, man, it's mad at me. Send you PayPal in a sec. Cool. Yeah, hit me up your PayPal, man. Just whatever your email is, and make sure she's spelled correctly. She doesn't go anywhere else, obviously. Yeah, we're not over the 10 SMA. We can't go long at all here, guys. Not at all. Take care, Brian. We'll see you tomorrow, guys. I'll be out of here in a sec. I want to see this thing die under 20,400, down to 20,340, or bounce the 1618. And right now, I think we got the magnet for the mustard, and that's the 15-minute no tag GP from the prior. So my final trade call would be to stay anything under 57.50 down to 57.20, but you need the entry. Right now, you can't really see the easy peasy, like free, whoops, wrong color. Free short right here. You don't want to short lows either. That's nonsense. That's silly goose stuff. We don't do that. So what you do is you're waiting for any kind of pop right here, even if it loops over that 10 SMA, up like this, lower high, and down to 57.20 follow through. That's what I would look for. That's what I look for. Another 1,700 on the drop. Nice job, Mark. Killing it, brother. Love to see it. I'm going to short NQ if we get any more speed under 23.90, because this weekly needs a tag, right, y'all? See how far away that daily gap is. Let's see here. Yeah, it's from that week right there. So I think we'll get down to 20,388. It's a lot to ask. I know, market. It's a lot to ask. Mr. Danish. Okay, let me see here. PayPal. Now I got to get my login going on here. Send our request. I'm copying your stuff right now. So once we get a pop right here, guys, we got to find that pop over the 10 SMA and drain out to that yellow zone. Looks like it found you here. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. You haven't spelt it wrong. I'm going to send it just like that. $50 on the way. I won't put your email on stream, my friend, just in case you don't want that on there, but she's all sent. Here's your verification. I'll send it to you on X. Bam. I sent $50 to Mr. Danish. Congrats, buddy. And thanks for tuning in, as always, man. Much appreciated. You just got it? Awesome, man. No problem. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in. All right, guys, that's the final call. Wait for the pop into the next drop, okay? You got to be, remember over-under level. Let's back up. Let's recap right here. Big over-under level right here, guys, okay? So your sentiment short should be able to fall right around here, all the way down here to that 57.20, okay? So I think as long as you get a 10 SMA loop, even if you hit that 57.50 or so, something like that, we'll be able to get that cooking to the downside. Has to stay under that 57.50 though. Right now you don't want to short low, so you're waiting for this thing to pop back up a little bit, give you some relief above the 10 SMA, and then do a fake long and break that sucker right back down. I think we're going to chase that 100 EMA too, because we don't have that end of the day yet. We broke over the 100 EMA end of day, and then we also need a back test of that. So that's your call, man. Get one pop on this bad boy, anything under 57.50, okay? So you look for a structure. It's got to come up, put in some lower high action here, break down to lower high, lower low, and then follow suit to the downside, okay? And if not, you're going to get squeezed to all hell above 20,400 and 57.50, so please do not shorten until you get that confirmation, because the market is great to scam you. Don't short lows. That's silly goose stuff. Thanks for tuning in for a little 7K greet, and I'll appreciate you guys. I'll see my team tomorrow bright and early, and we'll see you on the YouTube recaps tomorrow as well. Appreciate you guys stopping in. Thank you.